What is up? Welcome to this week's episode of Lambgoat's Vanflip podcast. I'm your host, LURK. Today, we are lucky enough to be joined by one of the most influential people from early hardcore times, New York days, 80s, 1980s. A lot of you guys were born, but most of you were not born, probably. However, frontman on and off again frontman for the CRO-MAGS, or CRO-MAGS, I should say. Yeah. John Joseph, welcome to the show. How you doing today, buddy?
How you doing, brother? Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I know you're very...
The original
vocalist. Original vocalist.
A lot of stories have been floated on that, but that's why I posted the link in my book from the, actually this was from the Big Takeover magazine. 1981, the first lineup of the band was me, Harley, Dave Stein, and Dave Hahn. So we rehearsed for months, and then the band broke up. So that was the original inception of the CRO-MAGS.
Right, okay.
There I went on to go out on tour with the Bad Brains, and BLOODCLOT started with JW. We were the crew for the Bad Brains. Alvin played drums, and it was Papa Chubby Teddy couldn't come out on the tour, so we used the bass player from, they were called the Throbs, and then Earl changed their name on the tour to Crucial Truth. We used the bass player from Crucial Truth every night to play with us, and we opened up for the Bad Brains.
Nice.
So that's the history,
Yeah, that's one of the running jokes in the comment section. If you've ever, I don't know if you've ever looked at the comments on Lambgoat or whatever. No, we talked about you just follow the Instagram page, but Bad Brains comes up quite a bit in the comments when you're mentioned. But
well, hey, they gave me my start in music. HR handed me the mic. HR, I saw them in 1980.
Yeah.
So like they were influential to a lot of people, and I would have never been playing music probably if it wasn't for them. The Brains, as they people love, the Bad Brains,
Yeah.
But it's like, read a book, dude.
It's a good band to be associated with. Anyway.
Hey, you know what? And I was in D.C. for the whole 1980 shit with Henry and Ian and all that. I saw the Teen Idols, the Untouchables, SOA, Red Sea, all of those bands. I was down there during that whole fucking amazing scene too. Everybody was and everybody stuck together. That was the other thing, because we would go to Wisconsin Avenue, and jocks and Marines and fucking rednecks would start shit with us, and it was us against them. Mm-hmm. That's the way it was back in the day. And then, shit happened to me, and I got caught a case in the Navy selling drugs. I was an idiot. So I had to split, because I wasn't going to, I had just done 2 years before I joined the military. So I wasn't, they were talking, 7 to 10 years possibly in Leavenworth for a felony drug case, and I cut out. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, it is what it is.
But, I'm just saying the early scene in general, especially in New York. I mean, even when Bad Brains played or whatever, there would be 10 or 15 people at their fucking shows,
Yeah.
So it wasn't, that big of a scene back then. It was very close.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people, if they've kind of watched any type of documentary or read like American Hardcore or any of these kind of books that kind of focus on the early New York hardcore days, it's very interesting. And then, if you haven't, definitely go ahead and go down that rabbit hole. But it's quite different than it is today. But again, 50 years later, it is what it is. But I mean, you kind of got, I kind of wanted to give you kind of a space here, because you've been a very vocal person on the internet for a number of years, especially during like the COVID shutdown times, any kind of like governmental stuff as well that's been going on the last decade or whatnot. You've been very boisterous and vocal about it. So I know we had an exchange on Instagram, so I wanted to give you the opportunity to kind of like give you like a not a platform, so to speak, but a allotted amount of time to kind of like get your thought process out of, I guess,
Right.
more so on you were calling out bands that weren't really standing up to the man, so to speak, which I kind of do agree with you that a lot of the hardcore stuff and metal stuff comes from the world of like
And punk.
anti-establishment. Yeah,
And punk.
of course, punk
And
rock.
punk. Because before hardcore, I was going to punk shows and Max's Kansas City, CBGB's, all of that shit. Hurrahs, then the Mud Club, then all, Great Gildersleeves, all of it.
Yeah.
And so I was pre-hardcore, you know what I'm saying? Like I was into that and the revolutionary aspect of it. And what I said was that there was always this thing. I mean, if you read any of the old school Bad Brains lyrics or CRO-MAGS or anything,
Yeah.
it was always this thing about standing up to the man. People made living. They paid their bills off of the stay together, unity, and all of this stuff. And then when COVID hit, you weren't even allowed to question the narrative. If you post, I can't even tell you how many band members that I talked to that were like, yo, like I said one thing and they just piled on and fucking, I had to delete the comments. I don't delete my fucking post. I don't delete my comments. But I actually, rather than just getting caught up in the hype, I was actually paying attention to the whole shit. And the first video that was sent to me was from this doctor right here, Dr. Joel Kahn, who was the doctor that trained up Peter McCullough, right? So Peter McCullough got called in front of the Texas Senate. He was treating people with a various combination of therapeutics, including ivermectin, which they now give to people who get COVID.
Right.
All right, so I'm just going to ramble here. And
Go for it. The entire point is that.
Because I'm going to break the shit down.
Yeah, the entire thing is basically that because I also, but before you get into that, I also, like I told you prior to getting onto the podcast, I live in Florida as well. I've lived here my entire life for the most part, but I lived through the entire COVID thing, especially with doing Lambgoat and whatnot. I did think it was quite weird. I mean, I have a skewed perspective of that time because I also did live in Florida and, got to see everything
in New York City, and that was the epicenter. Okay, and I lived on what's known as Hospital Row.
Okay.
That's First Avenue, right up the block from my house. Beth Israel, fucking every single hospital going all the way up to the Upper East Side. But I want to finish my statement
Go
because
ahead.
Peter McCullough was treating people with Dr. Peter McCullough, one of the most published doctors in medical journals in the United States. Peer-reviewed studies. A fucking brilliant man. And he was treating people with a combination of drugs with close to 90% success of killing the virus. They came at him, the CDC, the FDA, and they took his ability to do that. They stopped him from doing that in the University of Texas Hospital. So Joel sent me that video. I said, Joel, why would they do that? And he goes, because they can't get emergency use authorization for a drug that has not gone through the proper clinical trials if there's a treatment. So they blocked the treatment. That's how Dr. Peter McCullough got on Joe Rogan, because I sent Joe that video, and he was like, what the fuck? So then what they did was they told people, there's nothing we can do for you. You have to go home and wait for the things to come out. And then when they came back, they put him on a ventilator and they gave him remdesivir, which doctors nicknamed run death is near. But Fauci was invested in that drug. The drug killed over 50% of everybody that it was administered to during the Ebola crisis. So everything just wasn't adding up. They were broadcasting all over the world that all the fucking hospitals are jam-packed. That was bullshit. I went on my bike. YouTube pulled it down. I went in and I had people that worked at Beth Israel, this metal dude. I went into the hospitals and I was filming. I went up to the triage tents up in Central Park. Not a single person went in there. There was no ambulances flying up First Avenue.
I was going to ask, since you lived so close, if
I was there for that. Yeah. And I put that video up and I go, what they're advertising is not what's happening. There is no hospitals being overrun. That was also bullshit. So it just didn't start adding up. And the thing that got to me was How is it in the past that we were able to call out the government? We were able to call out corporations. We were able to question authority. Now you got hit with the whole mantra, trust the science. Whose science was it? Fauci? Do you know that guy's history, what he did during the AIDS crisis?
Yeah.
He rolled out AZT. If you watch the movie Dallas Buyers Club, I'm speaking facts. This is not
Yeah. I
all
don't
these
disagree.
motherfuckers with this conspiracy theorist, get your tinfoil hat. It's all bullshit. And here's the thing. Fauci blocked the treatments for AZT. They talked about him in the Dallas Buyers Club, the movie. He also experimented on black and brown orphan children in New York State and killed, I think it was 78 children died from the tests of the drugs that he did on them. They did a big story in Spin Magazine. See, I'm old enough to remember all this shit. And then you got Bill Gates. Bill Gates, right before 2020, invested $55 million, in BioNTech, which was the vaccine companies that rolled out the COVID shots, right? So and then he did Event 201 in New York City right before 2019, right? In 2019, months before the outbreak, right? And what was the first thing they discussed at that roundtable run by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation? We have to control the narrative, especially with social media. We have to shut down any single person who questions the narrative. Science, which they love to say, oh, trust the science, is that you debate the science and you batter it into the fucking ground till the best outcome wins out. If they don't, where was the debates? There was never a debate. It was, this is how it is, this is what we say, and that's it. And anybody else that called it out or questioned it got shut down, including Dr. Bhattacharya, including Dr. Robert Malone, including Dr. Peter McCullough. I could go on and on. And look at the people, all the hundreds and hundreds of doctors that signed on to the Great Barrington Declaration, that what they're doing was causing more harm than good. You don't lock healthy people in their fucking homes. That's not the way you do it. To wait for the magic shot, which they told you had 100%. Oh, it's 100%. Once you take it, you're not going to be able to get it. You can't transmit it. It was the lie that they told everybody, right? Then it was, oh, you need another shot, then another shot, then another. And then they started blaming the inefficacy of that drug on the people that didn't take it, which was the first time that's ever happened in medical history. And Bill Gates, okay, who everybody in the scene trusted all of a sudden, who is one of the most corrupt motherfuckers, he is no philanthropist. Everything he invests money in, he makes a huge return on. He increased his wealth. 55 million turned into 550 million. The week that he dumped his stocks, he turned around and admitted that they didn't work. And he said, we have to do a better job next time. And then him and his wife stood in front of the camera and said, there's going to be another pandemic. A lot of people didn't take this one serious, but the next one's really going to get everybody's attention. And they smiled. How are you smiling? How are you smiling when supposedly, and by the way, the numbers on COVID was another fucking bullshit story. They lied about everything to push that drug onto people, and anybody who questioned it, they tried to cancel. It happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to take Joe Rogan's Spotify podcast down after he had Peter McCullough on the show.
Yeah, but well, they also showed him with like CNN would put up like altered or edited images of him.
Why are you doing that? Yeah. Why are you making him look gray and sick? And then he had Sanjay Gupta on and called him out.
That was a good one.
Sanjay Gupta was like, yeah, that was fucked up. Everything they did was a lie. And now look at the studies coming out from Japan, South Korea, all over Europe, all the fucking problems that these things are causing. Cancer rates. There's a new study. Anybody could Google it, from South Korea and Japan. Millions of people in the study. The freaking cancer rates have gone up like 400%. All kinds of autoimmune issues. Look at all the athletes we saw dropping. Look at all the people in music. Every time I turn on my fucking page, it's somebody else dropping or getting stage 4 cancer and all this shit. And everybody's like, nothing to see here. I've been around. You never saw this type of shit going on prior to 2021. And all the experts said it was going to be between 3 to 5 years. We're going to see the massive, massive repercussions and side effects from these shots. And by the way, to the anti-vaxxer fucking people, these are not vaccines. These are mRNA therapeutics containing the spike protein, which when they analyzed the tumors that they cut out of people, the spike protein was all up in the tumors, concentrated amounts of the spike protein. So my thing is, how is it no ban called out anything? And then one of these dudes oh yeah, this idiot. I spoke out. That one of the, I am not going to mention his name because he loves to fucking sue people. Oh, this idiot. We did a whole. No, you didn't speak out. As a matter of fact, you put on a mask and a face shield and you took the shot and you shit all over everybody else that didn't take it and talking about, I don't listen to hardcore singers on YouTube. Everything that I was reporting was coming from the doctors that were being silenced and deplatformed and canceled. They tried to take Dr. Peter McCullough's medical license for speaking the truth. And now he's got all the data. Anybody that wants to see the data on what's going on, all you have to do is go to Dr. Peter McCullough, MD's Instagram page or his website or anything. All of the data is there. And my question is, how is it that one of the most radical scenes in the fucking planet, the punk hardcore scene, tried to destroy anybody who even asked the question?
Yeah. It was a weird time. Very weird time.
Okay, let me tell you something else. All of these bands were kicking people out of their fucking band too, and I spoke about that. And I also, there was, for instance, Armand and Craig just said, hey, we didn't take the fucking thing. Hundreds of people piled onto their page and they had to take it down, what they said. Why, like, that's when the hate started against me. I did an interview before the record came out, the Souls record, and it was before the shots were available. And the guy goes, oh, so you excited to get the, I was like, no, I'm not taking it. Everybody's free to do whatever they want.
Right.
But I'm not participating in that. I had COVID. I beat it. I developed antibodies for it, which have been proven to be better than those fucking vaccines.
Yeah.
And I live a healthy life. I don't take drugs, any of this. Now you get the argument they were just looking out for everybody. Oh yeah? Why they giving obese people donuts and fucking French fries and hamburgers? Did you see that piece of shit?
Right. Get the shot, you get
with
you get
the fucking hamburger. I want everybody to think of vaccines when you see these hamburgers. Yo, they treated everybody like a bunch of fucking slows.
Yeah, they were giving out free donuts and coffee and burgers for anyone that got it.
Beer and fucking, go visit a fucking prostitute in fucking Vegas, lottery tickets, college. Why you have to coerce everybody to get the fucking shot? When did the government ever give you anything that was free, that was good for you? Mm-hmm. All of this shit did not add up, and I called it out. I stood my ground, and I was talking with Darren. We had the balls and the courage in fucking 2020 and 2021 to sneak around during the fucking lockdowns and record our record, right? And he said, dude, I've known your lyrics since fucking the early 80s. You've never changed. I never changed my stance on anything. I've called out the same shit on every record, whether it was BLOODCLOT, Both Worlds, whatever the fuck band I was doing. Even MOI, Mode of Ignorance, was another band I was in. It was only until I started doing that same shit in 2020 on that the hate came.
Yeah.
And even when I did the protest, I organized that fucking concert in Tompkins Square Park. And thank God Cousin Joe had the fucking intestinal fortitude from Black and Blue Productions to say, hey, man, because originally it was going to be in a truck on the East Side River, whatever the fuck. And Joe was able to get the permit, which they lied and said that we said we were having a permit for 9/11 victims for the firefighters. In April? Really? It wasn't that at all. Chris Flash had the permit, and it was a concert, and all the bands that played, right? We did our thing. You know who the biggest fucking crybabies were in the world over that concert? Oh, it's a super spreader.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody that was involved. If anybody posted a photo that they were there, everybody attacked them. It was the punk and hardcore scene that fucking attacked. Oh, it's a super spreader. Not one case of COVID. Oh, it's a skinhead show. Because fucking dumbass went on stage, whatever, fucking Springer with his dumbass shirt or whatever the fuck. We had Black Lives Matter fucking having a fundraising table there. The Krishnas came and fed everybody. It was a fucking beautiful event. Kids were there, everything. You wanted to wear a mask, wear a mask. You don't want to wear a mask, don't wear a mask.
What year was it? What year was that again?
That was April 2021.
Okay.
The same day, that weekend, there was 60,000 people in Citi Field for the Mets, 50,000 at Yankee Stadium. Nobody said shit about that. But you try to do a fucking show, bringing people together, and bands had shit to say on stage. I know I did.
Yeah.
And then everybody had a problem with it. Everybody started filling up my page with fucking bullshit.
Yeah, which is weird because you were. I mean, there's other bands that were involved in that particular show, like Madball and Murphy's Law, and everybody, and they seem to just have skated by without getting any hate from
Bring it, motherfuckers. That's what I say. Because listen, my first page got taken down. I had almost 150,000 people following the page. Hardcore fucking Muppets were fucking people were screenshotting me what they were saying and sending it to me. Yo, get his page taken down. Get his page taken down. All of that shit. And then when my page got taken down and Joe Rogan gave me a shout out within like a week, I got 40,000 followers. They did it again. Yo, Rogan just gave him a shout out. Fucking get his page taken down. Report every post. This is who we're dealing with. This is what hardcore and punk has turned into. In 1981 or 1980, if this shit would have happened, everybody would have been sticking together and turning on the real culprits. Who was the government? These motherfucking politicians, both sides of the aisle. Then they called me a Trump supporter. Trump rolled out the vaccine. How the fuck could I support that dude? Like, make it make sense.
Right. Well, it's just things that they just throw terms on you.
Every one of those politicians that voted for the lockdowns, for all the shit, they destroyed my friends' businesses. They all were invested in the 4 companies that put out them shots. J&J, AstraZeneca, Moderna, and fucking Pfizer, who have paid the biggest fines in medical history for fraud, deceptive practices, paying scientists to lie about the actual fucking things that went down in the drug trials. How do you get all these drugs approved and then they get That's the game. And let me tell you something. I've written about this. I wrote about the corruption of Big Pharma in my book, Meat is for Pussies. That book was put out by HarperCollins. Every single thing in that book was sourced in the back and fact-checked because they could not have any lawsuits. I called out all the shit on those drug companies and what they've done over the years. They put out drugs that maimed and killed people, and then they settle the lawsuits for pennies on the dollar. And why is it that you can't sue a drug company for the vaccines that harm fucking children and harmed people during COVID? Why do they have immunity?
Because of that
if
emergency.
If your shit is so safe, how come you can't be sued? You know, who gave them the pass on being sued? That was Ronald Reagan, because they said, we're getting so many lawsuits now on our vaccines that if you don't protect us, we're going to stop making them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ronald Reagan. See, these people don't even know the history. They just want to talk shit. Get your tinfoil hat, dude.
Right.
I'm talking straight up facts.
Well, I'm a little older too, so I'm like 42. I know a little bit about that.
Why did Pfizer try to hide their fucking clinical evidence from the COVID test trials for 75 years? What happened in those clinical trials? Okay, a judge made them release it. I had a doctor break down to me what the fuck it meant in layman's terms. It was page after page after page of side effects.
But it didn't. But it
Spinal
didn't even.
thrombosis.
It didn't do anything towards the COVID. It didn't like protect you at all.
It did nothing toward COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, I took the shots. You didn't protect anybody because they had to also admit they were never tested for transmission or infection. They had to admit that. So how the fuck did the government turn around and mandate something that was never even tested for transmission? It was straight up corruption from start to fucking finish.
Yeah.
And I called it out, and I'll still call it out. None of these people could debate the facts. They just want to talk shit. So go talk your fucking shit. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to make music. You don't want to, and then they're all like, don't buy his records. Don't buy his books. Fucking Cortex, they contacted all the distributors of the books and records. They contacted Upstate Records and fucking told them they're gonna boycott them if they don't pull my record. That's punk and hardcore.
Yeah,
it's a fucking joke. It's a joke. And I've had people threaten me, which I'm still waiting for somebody to roll the fuck up. All you tough guys. I don't even try to take it to that level. I don't run around like, but motherfucker, don't threaten me. And I ran into one of them last summer and was very loud on social media. And guess what? The dude was like a little fucking church mouse when it was like this.
Yeah.
That's the big difference. I'm not rolling. I'm not rolling trying to be a bully or fucking or any of this shit. But if you're gonna make threats against me, then you better fucking be ready to fucking go.
Yeah.
Because I stay ready. And I'm not trying to roll with violence or any of this shit, but don't threaten me.
Yep.
Don't threaten me. And now everything that they told you was a fucking lie. And I called it. I said, once all the evidence comes out, you know what they're going to say? Why are you still talking about this shit, dude? Move on.
Yeah.
The Veterans Administration Hospital would not treat my disabled brother unless he took the shots and the booster. When he took the booster, he had a major stroke that he never recovered from. He drank himself to death. You know how many families? There was a Facebook page with over 100,000 members on it posting pictures of all the vaccine injuries. Well, I shouldn't even say vaccine, all the COVID shot injuries and deaths. And Facebook took it down. And then this dude, Zuckerberg, has to admit that the Biden administration forced them to censor everybody.
Yeah, that's the whole thing now too, though.
Censorship, all of the shit that went down. I stood on my fucking feet. I called it out. I still call it out. And that's just where I am. And nobody can argue and debate the facts. That fucking thing, those things had zero. They did not protect anybody. Everything was a fucking lie that they said on television. The rolling death counts, all of this shit. They weaponized fear and they caused mass formation psychosis, which I wrote about on a song on Souls called War Castles. And it's what they've done for years. They control everybody through fear. They push their agenda. And that was only start one. Look into the UN 2030 agenda. It's being pushed all now towards fucking digital IDs, digital platform, doing away with cash. They want complete control over humanity on this planet. I've never seen anything. There's never been a greater need for motherfuckers to stand up, right? But what did you do? You fucking tried to destroy anybody that did stand up over the last year. And anybody that still talks that anti-vaxxer bullshit is a fucking moron at this point. You're a fucking idiot. You're just regurgitating some shit that came out of your television that they told you to say.
Yeah.
You sided with Bill Gates and the government and Fauci and the corrupt FDA and the corrupt CDC, all owned by the drug companies, all owned by BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street. They own all the media. That's why when I put that statement out, let's go. You motherfuckers all did fucking articles against me. Let's debate the fucking real shit. You were the only motherfucker, which I give you props for, out of everybody that I wrote to that said, okay, let's do it.
I'm probably going to get shit for that too, John, but it's okay.
Fuck these people. Fuck these people. It's supposed to be free and independent press. That's why I love Rogan. He gives a platform to any side of the fucking argument, because didacticism is, and I'm a writer. That's the other thing. I'm a writer. I write fucking books. I have a fucking brain for the data, for everything somebody says, for what they did, everything, and that's the whole thing, was that when this shit all started going down and you start just repeating what these people said and claimed, you were called a liar, which is fucking crazy to me. But in writing, there's a thing called didacticism. You don't slant the argument to make your point. You give in a story, when you're writing a story, you give as much power and strength to the controlling idea, your theme, as you do to your counter idea, your anti-theme. And that's not what happened. And you know what a psyop is? You control the narrative completely. That's what we saw happen. It was the greatest psyop they ever pulled in my lifetime. They shut the fucking planet down. They put masks on in front of the camera and then took them off when you saw all the videos.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How about all the people just keeling over on the news? I've put montage after montage of athletes, of people keeling over. Anybody that said that could, if anybody says that ever happened before 2021, let's go to the videotape. Send it to me.
Yeah.
Send it to me.
I mean,
as a matter of fact, I think it was 1,180 athletes after 2021 to 2022 suffered major fucking heart attacks and heart issues. I believe that was equivalent to the last 30 years, that many athletes who suffered from some type of heart issue. And now look at what they come out with. Moderna and fucking Pfizer, they came out with drugs for myocarditis, which is one of the side effects. It's listed in there. And now they're coming out with these new cancer drugs. They're causing the cancer. Oncologist says, we've never seen cancer behave this way. That have been oncologists for fucking 20, 30 years. We know how cancer behaves. It starts out at stage 1, stage 2. These start out at stage 4. What they've named them turbo cancers. They don't respond well to treatment. You see all these people, and I never say, yeah, good for them. I fucking try to help them and fucking show compassion, and I've said prayers for them and reached out to anybody that I know that's been affected by these fucking things. You know, these motherfuckers that were like, put them in camps, get them out of society, we don't want them, take their jobs, take their children. If the shit was happening to us now, they would be fucking laughing. That's the difference of the mentality between different people on both sides of this issue.
Yeah.
And the only issue is they bullshitted everybody to make money. All you have to do is follow the money, and it always leads back to the fucking truth. And that's all that I've been saying.
Yeah.
And I said the whole time, I never backed down once. People were like, you're gonna destroy your platform. My platform's based on fucking telling the truth. My platform's always been on questioning the authorities, questioning the narrative. You know, if I didn't just, there was a lot of bands too that knew what was going on and agreed with me and were like,
right, publicly they have to say certain.
I'm not gonna fucking say anything because then, like, I'm not gonna be able to tour. Nobody's gonna book, and they're still not saying anything.
No, I know.
So that's why I made the statement that I made, and I stand by it.
I liked it because I had been waiting for somebody to kind of bring that back up, because I think about that almost weekly, because, you know, again, living in Florida during that time frame, seeing it through Floridian lens, right? Like, to see how, like, New York or anybody else was handling anything, or any in the world. And then meanwhile, like, we aren't wearing masks or doing any of those types of things, and everything's fine down here for the most part. But then you had other people, like, when the shot started rolling out, you had bands just clamoring to their fans to get the vaccine, this, that, the other stuff. But the thing is, it was for somewhat for selfish.
People too.
Right.
Radio ads in California.
Right, but I'm kind of
open back up. We need to take the shot so the government will give us permission. Fuck the government.
Right, right. But I'm just keeping
You
it.
ever need permission from the government to be a fucking punk rocker, to fucking get in their face and say, fuck you? I'm sorry, man. People got their fucking balls cut off.
No, for sure. But I mean, like, what? And that's the thing too, is like they were saying it for selfish reasons, obviously, to get back on the road, to get back to playing, which I totally understand. Your livelihood is based upon that. But then at what cost? You know, because you have all these people.
Vaccinated only shows.
Right, but you have all these people that are promoting this without any kind of information to themselves.
And here's another thing.
And then we have all that going down.
So into protecting people, why did the governors in so many states force nursing homes to take in COVID patients that resulted in tens and thousands of elderly deaths? Okay? So that's all bullshit. What they were saying, oh, there's going to be massive fucking deaths in Florida. That never happened. There's one country, I forget what it was, I forget the country, but they never locked down in Europe. They kept society open, and they had the lowest rates of COVID transmission. You have to get herd immunity. Never in history have they locked up healthy people. Because what they did, they locked up healthy people and they pumped the fucking fear at them. Oh my God! People still are like that.
Yeah, no,
People
I know.
still are like that. Oh, they did everything. They didn't know. They did everything to protect us. Bullshit. They knew exactly what they were doing. They had the patent on those vaccines, on those shots, I should say, years before. I believe it was 2016. They got the patent on those shots. Look at Fauci. Okay? He fucking he lied and said he never did gain of function. That was a fucking lie. He proved it. Right? Why isn't he in jail? Why is Trump having the fucking CEO of Pfizer in the White House? Oh, he fucking Anthony, whoever, did such a great job during COVID and getting more money and all of this shit. They're all in on it. I never voted in my life. I never fucking voted for a single politician or backed a politician ever in my fucking life.
Yeah, I mean, that was the weirdest time because obviously when it rolled out, when the COVID shots rolled out, I kind of decided right then and there that was weird, and I'm not doing that at all. But then, you know,
and it should be your right. It should be your right. What happened to my body, my choice?
Right? No, I get that, but
that only applies
for
to
certain
women
things.
that want to get an abortion. No, fuck that.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing.
Everything. You're not telling me, Mr. fucking McDonald fucking eater. I'm not gonna mention his name. The motherfucker had him in the hospital. Fucking bags of fucking McDonald's telling everybody what they need to do with their health. Dude, practice what you preach.
Yeah. I mean,
practice what you preach.
That was the weirdest thing, though, because, you know, I again, as someone who lived here and didn't get vaccinated and just saw it all play out, you know, and then had all these bands that were clamoring for people to get the vaccine. And it felt very weird because obviously no one knew anything about whatever, especially on like our side of the fucking world.
They knew nothing.
Right.
They just trusted industries proven to be corrupt.
Right.
Government the same government that did the Tuskegee experiments and gave black people syphilis. You know who the largest percentage of those that didn't take the vaccine in America was?
Yep.
The blacks.
Yeah.
Because they were like, nah, these motherfuckers experimented on us before.
Yeah, they couldn't get them to do it.
That shit now.
They couldn't get a lot of minorities to do it. But but again, I agree with you on that. That the Tuskegee thing is an actual factual thing that happened.
I'm just talking facts. Anybody could look up any fucking thing that I said, and you could call it conspiracy theories. Who came up with that term anyway? You know who?
The government.
The fucking CIA, when people question the JFK assassination, they coined the phrase.
And by the way, that's all fucking not on the up and up either. But
of course not.
Right.
Nothing is.
But I do.
Nothing is. And it all stems back to the fact that he signed Executive Order 11110, which was to take the power away from the Federal Reserve to print money and control the banking of America. These were private bankers. Read the Creature of Jekyll Island. Watch America, Freedom to Fascism. It breaks it all down.
Yeah.
And he took the power away and he said, why are private banks controlling our financial systems? He gave the printing of the money back to the U.S. Treasury. Look at the notes during his time as the president. when he did that, he put out silver certificates, and the money said that it said official note of not the Federal Reserve, but the U.S. Treasury. His father said they're going to kill you for this. These are and he was murdered, I think. When was he killed? November, and he signed that order, and he signed that executive order. And as soon as Johnson came in, he reversed that.
Yeah, yeah.
That was one of the first things he did. So, these people, they caused the wars. They're just these institutions, Rockefeller. Even in this book, I talk about how Rockefeller came and changed the entire fucking system of medicine because he was a petroleum man.
Yeah.
I've been researching this shit for years. So when COVID came up, I smelled the fucking rat.
It did. You
weren't allowed to say anything, question it, or anything.
Yeah. As a conspiracy.
And so many in the hardcore scene. Oh, yes, masters.
That was a strange.
When
can
I go to a show?
Yeah,
How many shots do I have to take?
That was a strange time. And
Dude,
again,
fuck that.
And again,
fuck
though,
I listen. I've been on the scene longer than anybody in New York hardcore. Okay, I started going to punk shows in '77 at fucking Max's and all of that. Then I was there for the birth of hardcore in DC and New York. So I'm a pretty good fucking person to be like, I know how shit was back then.
Yeah.
And it was unity. All these records, Power, the Antisocial Being, or all these great words that have come out. Smash the system. There's no justice, there's just us. All these big phrases that were on T-shirts and records and everything else. And rah, rah, rah. Where the fuck was all of that in 2020? That was the point that I made.
Yeah.
Why didn't anybody but me that had the platform that I had stand up and say, yo, what the fuck?
Well, I don't think
question this shit.
I think you were on a record. I think you were involved with a record label that probably has zero percentage of it earned by BlackRock.
Oh,
they do.
Upstate Records?
Yeah. Well, in general, I mean, they do.
Well,
BlackRock,
it's an independent label, and
right,
I
right.
love those
But
guys, Mario.
What I'm saying is, BlackRock is also
know.
involved in music and in our music world. That's
they
what's
own
weird.
Everything. They own the drug companies. They own. Look at Dave Grohl. I called him out too, playing Vax Live, right? Getting paid millions of dollars to push the fucking jabs. That shit was a fucking one big pharmaceutical ad concert. And I've heard a lot of different stories from people who actually were hanging out and was the sponsor of Taylor Hawkins about, first they said unknown causes of death, and then it was like, it was a drug overdose. Fucking everything. Listen, everybody should have fucking stuck together, questioned it, and that's the whole point. That was never allowed to be discussed or anything.
Yeah.
And anybody that questioned it or stood up, they tried to destroy that person. These motherfuckers were contacting my clients. If I made a post from my coaching business, right? And so the guy who started the big film television studio with Robert De Niro that it was the best money I ever spent on coaching. John fucking helped me with all this. He helped me prepare to get this. They were fucking writing him. Why are you're working with this anti-vaxxer Nazi? They said everything under the sun. They called me a fucking racist. Okay? And I reached out to black people in the fucking scene, and I was like, yo, bro, you know that shit's not true. Yeah, but if I say anything, they're just going to pile on.
Right. That fucking definitely happened in the last couple of years. So, but I think
that. Nobody's getting a pass. I don't give a fuck.
No, I get it, but I think we're over that in general for the most part as a fucking society. I hope, but it's happened less and less. But
listen, there's going to be another event coming. Whether it's they've played their cards, they've done this, they've done that. It's going to be another thing coming. They're going to promote more fear, and people. They operate on the level of fear. But Bhagavad Gita, the last quote, Krishna says, Masu Chaha, do not fear. I never had fear during COVID. The only time I ever wore a mask outside was when I went and fed people because the city inspectors tried to shut down the food program when everybody was hurting. Okay, they tried to shut it down. Then they came and said, everybody has to wear masks if you're feeding the homeless. That's the only time I ever wore a mask outside was when I did that food program because the health inspector, the health department of New York City was coming by every time. And if anybody wasn't wearing a mask or gloves, they would have shut down our food program. And I was just up there, all these motherfuckers that run their mouth, I just said, hey, I'm serving out the homeless. Like, come down and help us out. I was there Monday. And I said, anybody that has, something they want to say to me in person, come on down.
Yeah.
Nobody showed up. Nobody's ever, it's like, this is what social media has given a voice to fucking people that all they try to do is run their fucking mouth.
True, and some of them are fake people.
Yeah, they're getting paid. They had influencers out there fucking shitting on people and calling people out and trying to destroy people. And always on my page, these people were coming along. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, one clown just wrote, oh, you're the anti-vaxxer wearing his shirt, right? I'm like, and I was like, yo, I let you slide, dude. You fucking ratted me out in 95. You took orders of protection against me. You had me fucking arrested twice, okay, for some pussy shit. And I went out to Williamsburg because my friend said, yo, I went out there and shook his hand and squashed it. And then he's running his mouth on social media, okay? And I was like, yo, I called him up the other night and I'm like, yo, I didn't even get the first. I said, yo, after you ratted me out and I squashed it with you, you fuck. And then he just hung up the phone. And here's the text message that I sent to him because then he writes on his page. This is the bullshit of social media. He says that I didn't call him back. I said, I'm in New York City now. I'll meet you anywhere and we can have a conversation in person. And that's right. I got respect from the hitman. He made a joke about, oh, the tough guy from the streets everybody fears. No, I just stood up for myself. I said I banged out the leader of the fucking hitmen because they were fucking with people at a punk club. I wrote about it in my book. I got respect. I still hang out with those people. I said, the wild shit is I came out to Williamsburg, shook your hand like a man, and forgave you for all the grimy shit you did. Ratting me out, orders of protection, all of it. Here's the text message to that individual, okay? And then he goes and fucking talks his shit and says whatever he got to say. I can't say nothing about the other dude because he serves papers to my house here in Florida. But this dude calling somebody an anti-vaxxer, it really shows what a fucking moron that he is. And I said, and here you are stirring up the pot of shit. I don't say nothing about that dude or the other dude. I said, hit me back. Let me know where you want to meet me. I'll be there in a half a heartbeat. Have a great night. Hope to see you around. No response. So I don't fuck with people that's like, you're going to run your mouth all over social media. You want to talk your shit. Go ahead, talk your shit.
Yeah, I mean, we get that a lot too because it's like it's easier for someone to call us out or talk shit about Lambgoat than like say report a comment and get it removed or to contact us to verify something or to get the proper information or whatever. But again, that doesn't come with a lot of internet clout and internet likes and internet shares.
Oh, you know what does? Talking shit and making up lies about people and all the rest of the bullshit, which is fucking lies. But you know what? What are you going to do? You're going to sit there and argue with these fucking mamalukes and go on. I don't even give a fuck. They can say whatever they want. I just signed a 3-book deal. I got another album coming out. I'm about to sign a deal on a film. Okay? I'm writing book number 8. I'm training for Ironman number 15. I got a successful coaching business. I have a beautiful house, a beautiful girl in in Florida, and it's like you're like a crumb bum thinking, you're gonna write some shit and I'm gonna give a fuck. Because the truth of the matter is, I speak the truth. If anybody doesn't like what I got to say, then roll up and we can have a conversation. And that's been my stance the whole time, especially during COVID. I'm like, yo, I'm accessible. I'm in New York City.
Yeah.
I let everybody know where I am, when I'm going to be there, and you know how many people have showed up? Zero. And it's not about trying to be a tough. Listen, I don't try to be, like I said, I'm not trying to be a tough guy, whatever. But if you're going to threaten somebody and make threats against somebody, or like the individual I ran into last spring up in New York, he was online telling everybody to destroy my career, how I pay my bills, how I make my living. Okay? You got motherfuckers saying that I live off my mother and fucking my girl pays the bills. Motherfucker, I make fucking 6 figures coaching. I got, like, it's just ridiculous. And then the charity work that I do, they criticize that too. Oh yeah, whatever. Some motherfucking jerk off says I didn't do the Ironman in Chattanooga because I just had an issue with my hernia surgery, right? So the doctor and my coach said, do not race. Now I raised, I think it was about $1,800 for Tunnel to Towers. It went to their fucking website. The link was to them. I didn't see a dime of that money. And then it's like, oh yeah, he stole the money from Tunnel to Towers. Like, they just make shit up.
Yeah, do you think...
And they run with it online, and all these assholes believe it.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
But do you think, and I'm just going to try to play devil's advocate, not that I think that you're full of shit or they're full of shit or anyone's full of shit, but do you think that they do that because you are such a boisterous and loud individual that you maybe can't let that slide and that you just have to, like, correct them, even though they may be...
You're accusing me of cheating a
charity.
Right.
No, I know that, but maybe
you're accusing me of cheating a charity. You're accusing me of being a fucking mooch. I work harder than any of these motherfuckers. I'm up at 4 a.m. writing. I'm fucking training. I'm coaching people. I'm fucking out there feeding the fucking homeless, getting on the fucking train from the Bronx at 7 o'clock in the morning, coming all the way down to the Lower East Side in the freezing cold. I've done benefits for the homeless. My race in Kona, Ironman World Championship, I raised $100,000 for a kid with cancer. I've done benefits for the soup kitchen that raised $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. I opened up a yoga center and spent $100,000 of my own money and kept it open for fucking 10 years. I don't go on and bragging about all the shit that I do. But you're going to sit there and try to destroy me from paying my bills. That's a type of violence. And that's why I stepped to that motherfucker. And I was coming out of the gym. I put my book down, my bag down, got in his face, and I was like, you see this, motherfucker? This is old school. I'm up close and personal. Yeah. What do you got to say? Oh, man, come on, man. I'm like, nah. Fuck that. And his girl is like, fuck off or we're going to call the cops. And I said, she's going to get you beat up. You better tell her to be quiet. And I was like, words have consequences. Like Mike Tyson said, motherfuckers have become comfortable with saying shit online that they would get punched in their fucking face for on the street.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's the answer to dealing with situations, but if you're acting like a tough guy to me, and the dude was bigger than me, tattoos on the neck. And I'm like, yo, you probably got 50 pounds on me, man. I'm 5'9". You're like 6'1". What's up? So if you're going to threaten me and do all this shit, then I'm going to roll up if I see you.
I get that. Now,
it's not trying to be a tough guy, but the amount of shit that was sent my way, they even wrote fucking shit to my girl. One motherfucker who you're going to hear about made fun of my brother dying. And that motherfucker, when I get in touch with him, you're going to hear about it because he's in the hardcore scene. You don't do shit like that. There's lines you don't cross. You don't say shit about my mother, my girl, my fucking brother, my family. That's a line you don't fucking cross. And when you cross that line, then I'm gonna get old school on you. And that's just the reality of the situation. And yeah, it did come back at me. Where's all the experts now? Where's all the loudmouths now? They went from being fucking roaring like lions, "Ooh, trust the science, these people are conspiracy theorists," to a bunch of fucking crickets and church mice that ain't saying now nothing. But if they do say something, it's always move on, dude. Why are you living in the past?
Yeah. I haven't
So,
to end this because
yeah,
we're coming over an hour here. But I want to know. I have a question because you have all this other stuff going on outside of like hardcore and
yeah,
music in general.
yeah.
When you are dealing with like whether it's your yoga studios or was your yoga studio stuff, your triathlon stuff, your coaching stuff, your writing and dealing with that, are you
I'm writing a spoken word right now. That's what I'm going to be doing next year. I'm doing like a spoken word, live thing. So
that's cool.
yeah,
But what are like how are you perceived in those circles outside of like hardcore and music? Because it just seems like
they
you
call me
have
the
a certain
hardcore
stigma.
fucking clowns,
Yeah.
and I
Okay.
don't even call them. I call them soft core herbs. They're in chat rooms talking fucking shit. That it doesn't affect me outside of like the hardcore scene,
Yeah.
which I don't even give a fuck about anymore. Like it's like I don't give a oh, some dude writes me, "Oh, how does it feel to be I'm like, you didn't nobody canceled me. I don't give a fuck. Like I go where I want, I do what I want, but outside of this, the world is a big ocean, and now you got these big fish in these little ponds, and they thinking they're running everything. Outside of hardcore, it's just like somebody wrote some shit the other day on this page, and he ended up taking it down. It was that motherfucker that runs that what is that shit called? Salad Dazed, right? He posted some fake shit that I said about the mayor. I don't even give a fuck about that mayor. I never said nothing before, during, or after the election. He created a fake story. And then Lisa Cooper, who I know, a black chick who's been fucking down with everybody, Keith Haring and the whole crew. She wrote, "Is this true?" I called her up. I go, "Lisa, you know that shit ain't true." And I wrote that dude and I go, "Yo, you're fucking spreading fucking lies, bro. Like, be careful, And I said his name. He's like, "Yo, man, it was a joke, son." I was like, "It ain't a joke when you're trying to fucking like you're spreading a lie that everybody's saying all this shit after that. It doesn't become a joke, dude."
Yeah.
I was like, "I'll see you around." He goes, "I don't appreciate you being. I'm not threatening you. I'm just saying, like, I'll see you around. That you could take that however you want." But then he took the post. He took the post down. But it was the election day that I said, and meanwhile, I'm in the fucking Bronx, and he said I said it from my home in Florida on the internet. It's just outside. Listen, I'm in circles with fucking actors, directors, writers, philanthropists, professional triathletes. Nobody nobody even gives a fuck about any of this shit these motherfuckers write,
Yeah.
because they deal with me and there's been a lot of people that have even been on the scene where it was like, "Yo, these people are fucking clowns," and I'm like, "Continue on with your shit, dude. Continue on with your shit. I don't give a fuck, because you know what? Like they say, the dogs may bark, but the caravan must go on. They tried to destroy my shit. I just signed a 3-book deal. I just put this book out. I got another book out on addiction. Fucking, it's like people pay me a lot of money to coach them. Like it's like I don't need hardcore to make a living, right?
Does anyone
So
even make a living in hardcore? I don't know.
but yeah, you can if you go on tour and you play the game and rah rah
True. True.
rah
Okay.
and
Yep.
don't speak up. Who spoke up in what big band in hardcore or punk did anybody stand up?
Not one.
Tell me one
Not one.
during the whole shit.
Zero.
I rest my motherfucking case.
Unless there were
Was the
like other
one,
bands like
I
Madball and
was the
everyone that
one
played their
that,
shows, but
yeah, but I'm saying with any kind of major platform in
right.
hardcore, I was the one, I was the recipient of all the trash talking. And, like I said, it's fine. Continue on with your fucking self, and I'm going to continue on with myself. I'm putting out another record of these songs that we all been working on, and it's gonna come out next year. I don't care who fucking people were even like, yeah, that Souls record is great. I just hate that motherfucker's the one that put it out. It's like, really, dude. I mean, I think it would had some of the best songs that came out that 2022 in music, but that's that's my subjective opinion. Others may not think so. I don't care. There's people, I even had people talk shit against oh, I wish he wasn't on Age of Quarrel. Snag motherfucker. Like,
Yeah.
it's one of the most influential records in hardcore, and I was involved. I named the record. I wrote lyrics on the record, okay, which was another lie that was being spread, that I didn't write anything. The lyricist is gifted 50% of the publishing, and then the songwriters get the other 50%. So when motherfuckers are saying you didn't write any music, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know the music business. And if somebody's out there now singing my lyrics and butchering them, like, I don't say shit about that. And then when we did our record release party for Soul's BLOODCLOT, and I covered Malfunction, which I wrote, everybody was like, "Oh, you shouldn't be singing those songs." Like, Anyway, the bottom line is, I have respect for you, man, because I wrote all those other motherfuckers that fucking that did those hit articles on me. Not one of those motherfuckers got back to me, which proves they're fucking they're being controlled by their daddies at BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, so they can't say anything because they'll get fucking fired
Yeah.
for speaking up. And it's like, you know, it's just, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, well,
I don't
luckily,
give a fuck. And I would do the same shit over again.
yeah, luckily you hit.
It came down to it. I called out the fucking stink shit that was 9/11. That wasn't adding up. I spoke up over that. I know firefighters that would air that day.
That's a whole different ball game, though. That's a
But
whole
I'm just
different ball.
saying,
I understand, but that's a whole different.
What followed was an illegal war in Iraq.
Oh no, I get it. I mean, I'm with you
That's
on the
the
whole
point.
thing.
And
It's a
came
different
out
chapter
with-
of the page.
But it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I spoke up against it, and then I spoke up against the illegal invasion of Iraq, and that was the cover of Up in Arms. We're over there bombing fucking innocent people. The fucking drone king Obama, fucking just all the shit. I've called out every single president, from Trump to fucking Bush to Biden to Obama to fucking Clinton to Reagan to Bush 1.
Yeah, yeah. I got to get you back on at a later date when when the blood clot stuff starts rolling. Hit me back
the
up.
BLOODCLOT shit will be out next year. We wrote a bunch. I think we got about 12 or 13. And you know what? I worked with all different musicians. Christian, who was in Fear Factory, fucking wrote some songs, and Danny Schuler's kids, Jake and Colton, on drums. Danny Schuler wrote a song. Tom Capone wrote a song. It's just like, music's a beautiful thing, man. Come together with people you vibe with and make some good music.
Yeah.
That's why I have no interest in doing any CRO-MAGS shit. I've been hit up multiple times by promoters and the guy that's out there now touring saying, "Let's do a reunion." Nah, I'm not doing any of that. I'm not looking in the rearview mirror. I'm looking ahead. I gave that person so many chances to do the right thing, and he burned me every single fucking time, telling fucking lies about whatever.
Yeah.
But it's music's a vibe, man, and it's always been this thing to lift spirits, right? and that's where I'm at. I'm not gonna do music with crumb bums. And the blood clot thing will be out. My first my first book is coming out probably, I would say, February. It's called City of Fear. It's a noir novel set in 1977 about all the shit that I saw. And, I just continue trying to be creative, trying to help people, trying to be positive. And that's, to end this on a positive note, because I had to clear, no one's given me the platform to be able to say, yo, this is exactly what the fuck went down.
No, I get
Now,
that.
I just laid out everything chronologically, all the way down to back to 2019 to when the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation did Event 201. What's the odds of that they would do a pandemic exercise months before the so called pandemic and say what they got to do, and then they did it?
Yeah. No, I agree.
So,
I agree. It's all weird and fishy and stuff like that. But
well, it doesn't matter if you agree or not.
right,
There's
no,
shit I can agree and disagree. The truth and the data speaks the truth.
right.
So whether somebody wants to agree or not, it's not a matter of I agree with you. There's things that I don't agree with people, but if what they're saying is the truth, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just like the mailman. I'm fucking taking a piece of mail and going, here it is. And that's
Yeah.
it.
Well, like I said, John, you're more than welcome when the blood clot stuff starts rolling through. We get you back on.
Yeah.
Again, we're independently owned as well. We have zero advertisers for the most part.
That's why
So
you got back to me.
we're not beholden to
These other
anybody.
motherfuckers didn't.
Well, they're owned by Sony.
Yeah, that's it. They're owned by everybody, and it's like,
Yeah.
that's the whole narrative is keep your fucking mouth shut if you want a job.
Right.
I make my money independently. I'm also a tour guide. I have so many ways. I'm a hustler. I've been fucking doing shit my whole fucking life.
Nice.
And some of it was illegal back in the day. That's why I went to fucking jail over it. But I make legal fucking money now, and I'm not controlled by anybody. I can say whatever the fuck I want. I don't have any masters that I gotta fucking bow down to and get emails. Hey man,
Yeah.
You gotta pull that interview or anything like that. I'm just like, nah. If I said it, I stand by it.
I'm not saying this is the reason why, but some people get jealous that people have the flexibility and freedom to do so. But on that note,
hey, you know what? They put themselves in that position, not me. I don't. Listen, if I take drugs and I fuck up and ruin my life, whose fault is that? That's
yours.
mine.
Yeah, yours. Yeah.
That's mine. Any situation, we find ourselves in as adults, 9 times out of 10, it's because we caused those circumstances. And I just want to say, even all these people that are suffering now and having these fucking side effects, and it's a lot of people in the scene and all this shit. I've reached out to them and fucking tried to help them, and I never fucking was like, yeah, snag, like that's not my mentality.
Yeah.
I've tried to help people, but at the same time, you have to want the help. I wanted to help to get clean and sober.
Agreed.
I wanted to help to turn my life around back in '81, and when I started finding out all the information and how they were implementing Codex Alimentarius through the UN agenda back then, because I worked in a health food store with hippies. Mackey's father delivered the sprouts to the store. That's how I first heard about Mackey in '81. And they were talking about Codex, how the UN is going to implement Codex Alimentarius. Just Google Dr. Libo. She talks all about Codex and what it is. It's the drug companies taking control of our health. Read this book, available on my website, johnjosephdiscipline.com. When I talk about we the people versus Big Pharma, or how the fucking shit was originally how David Rockefeller changed John D. Rockefeller rather changed the whole system of medicine to push petroleum-based drugs because he was a petroleum man. Then when they caused cancer, he took control of the American Cancer Society to control the narrative.
Yep.
He labeled alternative alternative plant medicines that have been used for thousands of years as quackery. He locks people up that went against big pharma. This is not my first rodeo. That's my point. I've been doing this shit for decades, longer than some of these 20-year-olds before they were even sperm in their daddy's nut sacks. I've been dropping the fucking facts about what's going on. And Codex, this is all part of Codex. The 2030 UN agenda, all this shit that they're doing, the digital IDs, that's where we're all heading next. We're one false flag away from fucking everybody needing a digital ID, cashless society. You know, they're praising China with their fucking social credit system. You think that that's not coming? Look what they're already doing in Europe. Anybody that speaks out, they fucking arrest them. Look what they did in Canada to the truckers that spoke out. Yeah. They fucking took their bank accounts. Like, this is where we're heading now. And it's a very, very, we are at the precipice of these globalists being able to completely lock down this planet. The whole New World Order shit everybody's been talking about is on the fucking way. And I'm down here I'm making plans to be self-sufficient, solar power, source of water, being able to grow my own food and all that. That's why I'm in Florida. Plus, it's going to be 75 degrees tomorrow. I'm going to be out on my bike in shorts.
Yeah.
Getting fucking done. Bang.
You will own nothing and rent everything from everybody else.
That's right. You'll own nothing and be happy, says Klaus Schwab.
Yeah.
Of the World Economic Forum.
They got it going on.
Look at these old cretins that you're letting divide us.
Yeah.
You are letting these people divide us, and they know the number one rule, divide and conquer, and I'll leave it at that, brother.
John, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, man. I want to say that. And I keep peace with everybody.
Yeah.
That's it. I keep the peace with everybody, but don't forget, it's like if we say on the streets of New York, don't start none and there won't be none.
Right. Yeah. I get you.
And that's the whole thing. Like if you don't, just move on. If I don't like something somebody says, I'm not there fucking like, on their page. I'm like, all right, he said what the fuck he said. See you later.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what shakes out after this comes out in a week or two, and I'm sure we'll both be getting hit up about something or another.
Yeah, let him do whatever. Find the lie. Find the fucking conspiracy theory. Find the untruth. Everything that I said could be backed up with the data. They could go to Peter McCullough. They could go to Bhattacharya. All these doctors that Dr. Joel Kahn, right here, who wrote the foreword to my new book. It's all there, but they don't want to fact check. Remember the fact checkers?
Yeah.
The fact checkers were all paid.
Yeah.
By the companies.
Yeah, I know. All right, we gotta get out of here. Hey, John.
I know. I got my dog in here, and we were supposed to do an hour. We did an hour and a half.
That's fine.
Listen, I just want to say once again, I have fucking utmost respect for you, bro.
Thank you.
Because out of everybody, and I hit them personally, the people that wrote this shit, and I said, hey, man, let's fucking sit down and chop it up. You were the fucking only one that said, I'm down. Let's do it.
Yeah. No, I mean, granted, I had reservations just because you're a very polarizing figure in hardcore, and I don't know you outside of this interaction and maybe watching you in 2018 on Rogan's podcast, really. I don't know you personally, so I thought it was a great time to we kind of share some of the same ideas, but it was a good time.
But when did all the hate start against me?
Yeah, around then.
As soon as I spoke up in 2020, as soon as I was walking around New York City without a mask on, 100 people, fuck you, that's selfish, I'm training for an Ironman, and they're telling me, you could be sick and not know it and kill somebody. I was like, I had COVID. I know what it felt like. If I was sick now and I'm fucking going out to ride 80 miles and then run 10 miles off the bike, I think I would know if I had COVID or not.
Yeah.
Anyway. Thanks,
All good. Yeah, we'll be. I'll be in touch.
Send me a link. Of course, I'll post it and promote it.
Oh, for sure. And I'll keep in contact for when your blood clot stuff starts going. We'll do a music
Absolutely.
podcast. We'll do one more music-based focused on the next time around. But I appreciate your time, John. And again, I'm curious to see what.
Keep out for the new fucking book, City of Fear.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens with
Hey, man,
what
God
comes
bless
out.
everybody. Keep that PMA.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Cool. I'll cut it there. My mouse just died, so I got to go fucking get the cord to get out of this call and everything.
No worries,
but
man.
Thank you, brother.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I agree. I'll see you later, bro.
All right, peace.